Yo, what's going on, y'all? 805 Jess here, the real Capri Sun, Mr. Cranberry Funk. Ventura, California is the place on my birth certificate. Shout out to all my 805ers, everybody along the Pacific Ocean, everybody along the Central Coast. Let's just get right into it. This will not be a long video. I've said this before and I'm saying it again. This will not be a long video because I'm getting right to the point. For those of you who are familiar with the Breakfast Club, for those of you that listen to morning radio, for those of you that listen to or watch their interviews on YouTube, you may have heard, and if you haven't, then this is breaking news for you. Drama once again has broken out at the Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club is probably, if they're not number one, a top five radio show. They are syndicated nationwide. They are based out of New York City, and they've had an issue with two hosts. I would say at least maybe the past couple weeks, but it sounds like it's been going on a lot longer than that. So for those of you who have been tuned in for a while, you know that the Breakfast Club used to consist of hosts Charlemagne, DJ Envy, and Angela Yee. They split up. Angela Yee has her own a radio show now called, I think, Wake Up with Yee, if I'm not mistaken, or Way Up with Yee. Same station, just a different show. She has her own show on her own. And then it was the two guys, Charlemagne and DJ Envy. Then they added Jess Hilarious, who was a comedian, as a third mic, basically. They added her, and she replaced Angela Yee. Jess Hilarious, who's a comedian and tours like most comedians, became pregnant. During her pregnancy and after giving birth, a replacement or a substitute was added, and that was Loren Lorosa. If you're not familiar with Loren Lorosa's background, she was a reporter and journalist for TMZ out here in California, in LA, before leaving TMZ and joining the Breakfast Club as a producer and contributing to their news efforts and whatnot. To my knowledge, Loren Lorosa has had a close business relationship, I believe, with Charlemagne. And that's kind of how that happened. From what I'm hearing now from Jess Hilarious and all this dramas, I guess Jess chose Loren LaRosa to be her substitute during the pregnancy, and even after. Here's the thing. Here's what really blew it up. I think last night it happened. I really don't know for sure because, look, y'all, I'm a parent. You know what I'm saying? I'm a husband and I'm a parent of a 1-year-old, of a toddler. So I go to bed early. You know what I'm saying? I be drained after working out, after a full day of, working and, doing family things. Listen, I might go to bed at 9:30 or 10. I'm not up late. So at some point when I was not on my phone or paying attention to the internet, the comedian Jess Hilarious, who has returned back to the show, went on Instagram Live and she went on a rant, y'all. She went off. I don't know if it's still available on there. You could probably find it on YouTube, but she went off, and it sounds like the real issue here is, if I'm being honest, one, she cares too much about what people say online. We've seen multiple celebrities, multiple well-known people. They care too much about the comments that they see on YouTube. They care too much about the comments that they see on Instagram and on Twitter and on Facebook. And it's the negative comments. And that's a weakness, I'll say. That's a weakness, I'll say. Because for someone who's in the limelight, for somebody who is on a nationally syndicated radio show, and even if we're not talking about Jess Hilarious, someone who is a movie star or a TV star, you have to, if you don't already have thick skin, you have to build it up, because the same amount of people that will root for you and be your fan, there's also going to be people who are not your fan. There are going to be people who are going to be critical of you and criticize you. And you can't go off every time somebody doesn't agree with your performance, or anytime, somebody believes that you're not doing a good job or didn't do a good job. So that's something that I've seen play out in the last, I would say, couple months with this comedian, Jess Hilarious, on The Breakfast Club, is that she really pays attention to what people say in the comments, and the negative comments really get to her. On top of that, this angle that I haven't seen or heard anybody shed light on, that I think is also impacting Jess Hilarious and maybe her decision making as well, is she just had a baby. What, maybe 4 months ago, maybe 5 months ago? It could be less than that, if I'm not mistaken. I only say that because I remember when she came back from being on her maternity leave, and she had mentioned that she had just had the baby, like like the baby was maybe only 2 months old or something like that, or 3 months old. So I don't know how her contract and all that is set up, but I do know that postpartum exists. I do know that after giving birth, after having a baby, your body, you physically, you're still going through things, and feeling and dealing with the effects of bringing a child into this world. And you may not be all the way there mentally, especially when it comes to your career, because you're in mom mode, you're in mother mode. And that's what it looks like. If you watch her rant, if you watch her on the Breakfast Club this morning, that's why I had to do this video real quick. I know y'all probably like, why is Jess not on the camera? Because I just had to crank this out quick because East Coast time, you know what I'm saying, they're basically ahead of us. So I had to get this out as soon as possible. It looks a lot like she's dealing with some postpartum, on top of her being frustrated with how production is going with the Breakfast Club. Now, here's my thing. If we really want to go all the way back to square one, this all could have been avoided. How could it have been avoided? Jess Hilarious, the comedian, she chose Loren Lorosa. Loren Lorosa, who was formerly with and working for TMZ and now is at the Breakfast Club. And she says it on the Breakfast Club. Jess Hilarious says she chose Loren Lorosa specifically to be her substitute. So my thing is, you can't be frustrated with the decision that you made. And here's the thing. You can be frustrated, right? Jess Hilarious can be frustrated. She could be upset about it. But now when you express it to the world and you're going on rants and you're complaining about it, now you're making your feelings public. Now your feelings are going to affect other people and possibly your coworkers. And that's what's happening. So you'll see online, I'm sure this is going to be buzzing for the rest of the week, that, and when I watched it literally before making this video, Jess Hilarious, the comedian who was the first, female edition after Angela Yee got her own show and left the Breakfast Club, she's going back and forth and bickering with Loren Lorosa, who came from TMZ, and they're doing this live on air, y'all. They're doing this live on radio waves. So I know they're probably, their stats and analytics are going to be through the roof. I don't know if this is the type of press they want. To me, it's definitely not a good look, and they need to resolve this. They need to figure it out. I'm believing it's going to end with Jess Hilarious leaving and being done with radio. My only advice to her, as someone who has done radio and worked in radio and raised in radio under my father, and all his radio efforts and his radio show and multiple radio stations, my advice to her is you have to have thick skin if you're going to work in radio. The same way you have to have thick skin if you're going to be a TV star or a movie star or even on YouTube. You have to have thick skin. People are going to say negative things. People are going to talk bad about you. But you can't, or you should not, I would not advise you to go on rants. I would not advise you to lash out when your feelings are hurt. But like I said, this woman just had a baby a few months ago, so that she may need to take some more time off as well, as she is beginning motherhood again with her second child, I believe it is. So anyway, I'm curious to know what y'all think. As always, I appreciate y'all. If you're subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. And we should be back with another drop sometime this week. Thank y'all, and peace.